Hello. We should take care of our bodies. This is a video to myself as much as to the world. We should take care of our bodies. We should eat well, drink well, and exercise very well. I am ready to start exercising again. Ready to do Kyle's gym. I just went from like 6.5 months of no exercise at all. And maybe not even the greatest of healthiest of eatings. You know, drinking a lot of $3 bottles of wine and cheap beers and, you know, Taco Bells and stuff. And got kind of chunky. I guess you'll see how chunky I am actually in the exercise videos. But, yeah, it's really important to maintain your body and not let your body get away from you, because our bodies are composed of like hundreds, thousands and thousands of miles of capillaries. That's how the nutrients and the oxygen passes to our muscles to power our muscles and our and all the cells, get the nutrients to and fro our cells and communicate electrically and everything. It's a very intricate system. I went and saw the Bodies exhibit over in the Luxor and here in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. Time flies, doesn't it? And they take different parts of the bodies out, and you can see, you know, like only the cardiovascular system, only the muscular system, and I saw the veins, cardiovascular system, and yeah, veins are everywhere. You can see veins. They branch out like trees, and yeah, there isn't a capillary more than a couple microns from any cell in the body. Go really close, and so they're very thin, and you need to keep them circulating. You need to keep them vacillating, dilating, and pumping blood through them, or else they're gonna shrivel up. And once they shrivel up, they paste together, and you can't open them again. And circulation goes out. You know, whenever you if you get frostbite, you kill those capillaries, and you never get the sensations or the strength back in your, because of the circulation back in that part of your body ever again. And I actually had an interesting experience with carpal tunnel. I was working on my computer for a few months and putting resting my elbows on the table and typing and stuff. And then I could like feel that like I was kind of in a way like cutting off circulation from my elbow, even though I was resting on the bone. It inflamed the nerves out there, and then the nerves got big, and I could feel these sharp pains up my hand, and then my hand went numb, and for a long time, like these two fingers of my hand were completely numb, as well as this side of my hand. And it still actually is numb now, even though it's been a couple of months since now I rest my hands flat on the table. And it's, even if you're going to put your elbows on the table, it's better to put them on this, or rest them flat, and just not have any like any steep pressure at the same place for too much time. Yeah, and I got carpal tunnel, and it took forever for the circulation to go back. So, so yeah, we need to get you should get your heart rate pumping, and pump up those veins and get the circulation going. Keep all those veins going as long as you can, because once they go, you can't bring them back. You can bring your muscles back. Muscle cells, you know, just go dormant, and then they come back to life. And new muscle cells are created when you exercise a lot. So like me, if I exercised a lot, I could become strong again pretty quickly. But if I sit on my ass, I could become fat pretty quickly, because fat cells are the same way. You can create new fat cells, and then you burn the fat cells away, but the fat cells don't go away. They just become dormant. So that's why it's a good idea never to become super obese, because then it'll become super easy to become super obese again. Whereas if you've never been obese, it takes you longer to become obese. That's why little kids can stay thin and still eat, you know. But once they get fat, it's over. But you can, and that's how I guess athletes can come out of retirement and do well and stuff. But takes a long time to become physically fit. So that's why it's a good idea to exercise regularly and get your levels up. So I actually have an example about the veins. Like my mother, like 10 years ago, was working as a nurse all night long, like a 24-hour shift or something crazy like that, and was waiting to take the bus back home from Denver. You know, it's like an hour-long trip or something, and standing up for all day long. She stood up so long that all the blood went down to her feet, and it couldn't fill up that vein, and the vein had no blood, and it collapsed, and it couldn't come back to life, and they had to pull the whole vein. You know, so you should really, you don't want to permanently damage your body. And I've got a huge belly right now, and the fatter you are, the harder your heart has to pump, just to, your heart can't rest. You know, what makes you fit is if you work really hard and then you rest and get nutrified, then you work really hard. But if you're working hard all the time, you don't have time to rest, and then you just die. That's how people die of heart attacks. They get too fat, and then their heart pumps too hard, never rests, and you die. So. And that's why a good way to exercise is like, you know, like CrossFit type exercise. You work as hard as you can, get your heart rate up as high as you can, try and see if you can get your, I don't have a heart rate detector, but that'd be cool to get a heart rate detector and see how I actually record how high I can get my heart rate, you know. But I think that's why people, physically, athletes do the best when they're in their 20s. I read something by a triathlete, and once he took VO2 max tests all the time, like every year, just for fun, and he was a regular triathlon like winner and stuff, and he noticed that when he hit 30, his VO2 max started to go down 1% per year. And the reason I think that your VO2 max is how much oxygen your body can process on every inhalation. So if I go, and they do the test because you take a certain amount of oxygen and a measured amount of oxygen, and then you exhale it, and then they test how much percentage of what you exhale is still oxygen. So then that tells you how much oxygen your lungs absorbed. And so that's your VO2 max. And so your VO2 max goes down as you get older, and you're not absorbing as much oxygen because there's not as many capillaries open to do that. And smoking will do that. I probably destroyed my VO2 max. My VO2 max is probably lower than average. All the crazy amount of smoking that I did when I was in college, and even after being a drug addict. You know, now I have asthma. Like I can never breathe right. It's fucked up. So that's one reason I need to go exercise, to try and see if I can get my lungs back as much as I can. But even if you don't smoke at all, even if you're like a perfect athlete, even just the particulates in a city with the air pollution from the cars and dust gets in your lungs. And you know, the capillaries are so small that those particulates go in and find its way into a capillary and lodge themselves, and then they kill the capillary, put the capillary out of business. Maybe, I mean, I like to believe that I'll somehow one day be able to circulate all the particulates out of my lungs, but I don't know if that's even possible. To be honest, I don't think it is. I think I've permanently damaged my lungs, destroyed my lungs. In that Bodies exhibit, I saw lungs of people, and they were all black. You can see the color, and it's because they got the bodies from like Beijing, China, which was a whole lot of air pollution, and they all died of air pollution probably, and like maybe mine workers and stuff. But yeah, their lungs were black, and you know, fill up those lungs with crap, and the lung has no way of circulating it out. They're not designed to circulate it out. I think you could design it if you like use your lungs all day long and like really hard outside in the sun, breathing really hard fresh air, drinking a lot of water. You could, you know, eventually you could break those particulates out and circulate them through. But anyways, that's how you just. And another thing, for me, to get exercise is for my joints. My joints are starting to hurt. It's funny. Dana Carvey did a stand-up show that I saw on YouTube, and he said that he's making a joke about how, you know, when you get old, you injure yourself by not doing anything. You know, like with the TV control. Oh, I just pulled my lat. But it's like that. If you go long enough without exercising at all, you can injure yourself by not doing anything at all. You can just roll out of bed one day and realize that you need a hip replacement. And I've got some of that going on, like in my left ankle. It actually didn't happen today, but for the last few days, it actually hurt a lot just to walk in my left ankle, because about 15 years ago, I had this stupid roommate kid. This person was bullying me, climbing in my climbing wall in a room in my house, and I pulled the knob, the thing fell, the hole broke, and I fell. He had it totally loose, and I fell and sprained my ankle. And I thought that was done, but then, you know, years later, I don't do anything, and then that injury brings itself back because I don't do anything. So I need to start running just to make it so that it doesn't hurt to walk. Maybe another reason that I hurt it is because I've been putting pressure on it, like sitting with my feet up on chairs and putting one leg over the other. And also I have this other injury, like when I get out of bed or I stand up and I move my leg towards the outside, it hurts. It actually hurts my leg, like my hip hurts. My hip joint is injured. And then when I push down on my leg, it's actually not like that today. When I push up on my femur, like right before where it hits the joint, it hurts. So I like injured myself by not doing anything, you know. And then I was starting to feel bad, like achy feelings in my legs, sharp feelings coming up and down my legs and inside my body, like in my heart, my leg, my arms. And I think that's the feeling of my muscles atrophying. So anyways, it's really important to just maintain in physical shape, because you can live longer. You'll live longer that way, and you'll accomplish more. And that's the thing I tell myself. You know, I mean, I've had times where I've exercised and stuff, but I haven't stayed. I've never stayed consistent with it. And I wish I could stay consistent with it. And I will stay consistent with it. Now I have this project, this timeline project I'm working on, that's going to take me so long that it's going to help me get into a routine. I do the best when I'm in a routine. If I'm not in a routine, I can't motivate to exercise. So what I'm going to do to motivate myself to exercise and get back into shape is to just exercise a certain amount of hours per day. You know, instead of having goals of like I'm going to do 50 reps or I'm going to do, you know, sit-ups for this much time. My goal is to just a certain amount of hours. It's just based on how much hours I do exercising. As long as I'm exercising for those amounts of hours per day, I'm doing my job. So I'm going to allocate myself 4 hours a day. That's a lot, because I really want to get in shape, and I really don't like being out of shape. And that'd be real awesome if I was in really good shape, because if you're in really good shape, you can literally stop time. You know, some people are like, "Oh, I wish I was young forever, young forever." Well, you can be young forever. All you have to do is exercise. Maybe I should include in this video, or maybe put in a link. You know, Sylvester Stallone. There's a workout routine of him. He's like 61 or something, and he's totally ripped and no fat. He looks like a buff 20-year-old, 25-year-old. You know, there's this 86-year-old bodybuilder woman who's got the body of a 30-year-old, even the face. You know, by exercising, you include the circulation through your face, also, because your whole body is circulating blood, so it oxygenates your face, tightens up your skin, brings more nutrients to your skin, and then the fat. There's less fat in your face, and there's less fat in your body, so you look younger. Your face does, and you look beautiful. You know, Madonna spends a lot of her time taking care of her body, and she's beautiful, like 50 or something that she is, and there's a 76-year-old. Japanese bodybuilder I saw, this guy, and you look at his body without his face, and you see a really buff, like 20-year-old. Like there's not even wrinkles on his body. So that's what I want to be like. I noticed last year there was this bike racer, Ned Overend. He was 55, and he rode his bike up Mount Evans in a 1 hour 56 minutes. He got second in the pros. Oh, and there's a woman, and she's 55, Jeannie Longo. And at the age of, I guess, 53, a couple of years ago in the 2008 Olympics, she was 3 seconds away from getting the bronze medal in the time trial, and she's 53. So yeah, you can stay fit. Muscles don't know the difference. Muscles will keep going, keep going, keep going. Just don't get an injury, you know, in a tendon. And you want to take care of your organs. I think you know, you can't take care of the organs the same way you take care of your muscles. You take care of your muscles by exercising. You take care of your organs. I think somebody said your organs start to go bad after you hit 40. But yeah, you take care of your organs by, well, the same way as you take care of your muscles, and is that get the circulation through, get the water, lots of water through to bring. See, I'm moving my wrist and it's popping. It's like my joints are melting. You drink a lot of water, and then the water passes through all of your organs and can wash out all the toxins. That's a big problem in the world we live in now, is there's so many toxins that get lodged in and then block your organs from being able to do stuff, and then maybe even cause them to get cancer and stuff. So yeah, drinking lots of water and lots of exercise is good for your organs, but also staying away from toxins and just staying with natural food. I eat, lately what I eat normally is raw. There are these raw vegetable packets that I get at the supermarket. They have them at Safeway and Albertsons, and probably every supermarket. It's carrots, broccoli, tomato, green peas, and then they have this like cheesy type of dip you can dip them in to give them some flavor, and it's really tasty, and it's filling. You know, it's a little bit expensive too, and it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be expensive to grow that food at all. It's so cheap. It's a lot cheaper to grow that stuff than cows. Cows are ridiculously expensive. That's a crime that we spend so much money on USDA helping those, because, I mean, you could grow these plants, all the fruits and vegetables, aeroponically in buildings, hermetically sealed from the world so that there's no bugs, and you can do it completely organically and naturally. And so that's another video though, but definitely try to stay going for the natural food, and exercise a lot. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start working out 4 hours a day. I'm going to stretch for at least a half hour a day, and then do yoga, and then weight lift until maybe I feel like I can't weight lift anymore. The range of weightlifting I can do isn't really as wide of a range as I could in a gym, because I only have 35-pound dumbbells and I have no bench. And I was thinking about jimmy rigging a bench with moving crates. So we'll see if that works, if I can find anything like that even, or maybe I just won't do that. I'll just do the benches. So, you know, I'll tucker myself out quicker, and then I'll just spend the rest of the time running. So it'll be a mix between stretching, yoga, weightlifting, and running, and, you know, body weight exercises. Running is a really good way to stay shape, especially as you get older, because it makes your joints really strong. You know, as long as you don't injure yourself, it'll make your joints really strong. I was hanging out with this woman who's my friend from college. I went to stay with him in Norway, and his wife is like really fit, and she used to race bikes when she was in college in Boulder. But then she doesn't even ride anymore. She rides her bike to work and back. But her bike is dismantled in the basement. She just rides her mountain bike. But she runs all the time. And she told me that she likes being a runner more than a cyclist, because she feels more fit being a runner, because it's like more of a whole body exercise. You know, like running, you have to hold your whole body straight, and you know, you're compressing your joints, and it's a whole body. And, you know, being a good runner, it'll make you fit in other sports, like in cycling. Like, it made her fit. She raced the Mount Evans last summer and got 9th in women's pro in less than 2.5 hours, and she doesn't even ride. It was from running. So, so I'm gonna start running. That's going to be the sport that I do. I was running when I was in the gym, running like 3 miles a day when I was working out on the treadmill, and that was kind of hard. I'm not a really good treadmill runner. I like running. You can be more dynamic outside and bouncing around, and it's a good way to, for me, living in my van, it's better to run too than to ride, because riding gets me dirty, even road riding. But I'm hoping running, even though I'm sweating, you know, the air, I'm not passing through it as fast, I won't get quite as dirty. And yeah, so it's really important to start to work out and take care of your body. And I'm going to start getting into my exercises again, 4 hours a day, filming all of my exercises, breaking all of my records, breaking all of the YouTube records, hopefully people will start doing the thing that I do, labeling the weight, labeling the reps, and going as hard as they can and showing us how strong they are, instead of being nerds and being like, this is how you do it, with like 5-pound dumbbells, you know. Oh, see, I just hurt my elbow. Oh my God, I'm moving too fast. See, this is how you do it. You see, 5-pound dumbbells. It's like 2 reps. Like, give me a break, dude. There's so many videos like that out there. All the videos are like that. I'm like the only guy who actually tries and does it. So I hope other people do that. So yeah, maybe you will. So yeah, but anyways, what I wanted to say, and this is the most important thing of the whole video, is that it's really important to exercise regularly, because you're going to accomplish more in the long run. Like me, I got really neurotic, and this happens a lot with me, and a lot of the time. I get really neurotic, and I have to finish the thing now, and I don't exercise. But what I'm doing is I'm just cutting my life short. Whereas if I exercise regularly, then I could do my job, and then I would live longer, and then in the long run, I would end up accomplishing more on the projects that I do. You know, when I'm dead, my legacy will have more product. There'll be more there because I was working on it longer in my life, later in my life, rather than doing it faster but then petering out slower, sooner. And the quality of life is better. You feel better physically. You look better. You feel better in society. And then if you live longer, you want to live long in the society, in the world now, because the world is changing so much. You know, what if me? I'm 37. What if I get up to 90 and the aliens still haven't landed? And it's like, oh my God, in 5 more years, you know? I want to live to 95 so I can see the aliens land. Oh, I saw them land. I'm so glad I exercised regularly to see the aliens land, you know? I mean, it's worth it to exercise just to be around for all the cool stuff that's about to come down in the future. So, yes, you should take care of yourself. Plus, here's another reason, probably the most important reason I can imagine, more important than any other reason. I wish women would take care of themselves, because imagine if every single woman out there was like smoking hot and dressed in spandex. It's like, bam, like, oh, there's another one. Oh my God, look at her ass. You know, imagine how amazing that would be. And women don't really take care of themselves that much, as much as men. I was in the gym at 24 Hour Fitness for like a year and a half. I had the membership, and I wanted to do a video of it, but they don't let you film in 24 Hour Fitness. But it's usually like an 8-to-1 ratio. There's like 8 times as many men in a 24 Hour Fitness as women in any given moment. And it's like 100-to-1, 10-to-0 in the weightlifting section. And women do outnumber men sometimes in the treadmill section and those little like scissor bike things. But a lot of the time, the men even outnumber the women in those. But in overall, yeah, men outnumber women, and it's I don't know what. I think society needs to change, and men need to stop being attracted to women with 0 muscle tone, and women need to stop thinking that they're attractive with 0 muscle tone. Because if women were as muscularly toned if women did as much exercise as men would, they'd be as muscularly toned as men are. There's no difference. The estrogen testosterone thing doesn't really mean much. Women should be just as toned as men are, but they're not, because they're lazy. So, oh my God, that's another reason I want to live really long. Because when I'm an old man, I'll look around and there's going to be like high school girls who are jacked all over the place, you know, and even old ones. It's going to be like, oh my God. Oh, see, I just gave myself a boner just talking about that, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, so I'm going to work out. I'm going to work out, and I'm going to live a long time, so I can watch fit chicks. That's the main reason you should take care of yourself, so you can live a long time and watch the cyborgs come and take over the world. Okay, that's that.